Okay, and we are live tonight for the Power Chat series, the post show for the Battle of the Midwest. Today, I have a special guest on. She's never been on Point Fighter Live before, but she's here because she did a great job at this most recent tournament, which happened in Missouri. It was a Pro Mac rated event, NASCAR rated. And so I'm going to bring her on in just a moment, but I wanted to share this awesome picture that her dad posted, and you'll see it in just a moment. I'll make myself small, but against this gigantic backdrop that was there, the battle in the Midwest. As you can see, she has two big trophies in her hand, and around her neck, even more medals. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on our guest. You'll see her in just a moment. Hide that and bring on Addison, or Addie Mann.
Hello.
Addie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Excited to have you on the Power Chat series. Now, we only bring on people who won, so let's tell everybody how you did, run through the places that you took, and ultimately the grands that you won.
So I won first place in traditional forms, first place in traditional weapons, and first place in creative. In fighting, I got second place. In grands, I got first and again first.
Okay, so this was the Battle of the Midwest. It was in Missouri. For everybody watching, why don't you drop where you're from, or where you're watching from? Right now it's 6:30 in Omaha, which is where I am. Where are you, Addie?
It is 6:30 in Joplin, Missouri.
Okay, so this wasn't too far for you to get to. It was a regional event, but tell me how the event went, how it went.
So the event, it went really well. I personally really liked it. There was such good competition, and overall, it was just such a great tournament.
What time did it start, and do you remember what time it ended?
So I had to stay back to the very end, and it started at about 5, 6 o'clock, but I went at about 1.
5, 6 o'clock. Sorry, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning it started?
Yeah,
Okay, wow, that's an early start time. But I guess the
yeah,
benefit is that you end earlier in the day, right?
yes.
Okay, all
I
right.
got there at like 11 a.m., closer to p.m. And then I started at 1 o'clock, so I had to wait 2 hours, but that's fine because I got to see a whole bunch of people.
2 hours also is not that long to wait, considering you have to go through the whole warm up process, the get ready process. And it seems like you did a few different divisions. I saw that. Did you do a Chinese form? I see there's multiple different uniforms that you were wearing for this tournament.
Yes, so my creative is a whole bunch of different forms put together. If you watch it, you can see that I put some uh, Okinawan in there. I put some Chinese. I put Kung Fu. So there's a whole bunch of different ones in there.
Cool. How did you come up with that idea?
So I came up with that because I wanted to be different from the rest. Because whenever you see like creative or extreme, you see the fast, the speedy. But I wanted to tell a story with mine. So I wanted to show how you can take multiple do like
Style.
divisions and styles, and you can put them into one.
Cool. And is there like a specific, when you say a story, I think of a narrative, an arc. Is there anything, that's underlying that form that you've created?
To show beauty and style. So like the flowiness parts and then the really fast and powerful parts.
Interesting. You also competed in sparring, right? You
Yes.
said. How did that go? What was the competition like, not just in your division, but in the divisions around you that you might have been able to catch?
So in my division first, I got second place to a girl that does a lot of sparring. And
Hmm.
I am just now getting back into sparring because I got hurt the last time I sparred. But the other sparring match that I watched was at the very end, and it was a boy. and he did amazing kicks. Like he was really good. He won 11 to like 3 or 4.
Okay, wow. And you are in the 10 to 11 division for anyone who doesn't know how old Addie is. How was the competition for forms and weapons in your division?
The competition was very good. I thought that they did really well.
Okay. Now, what was a highlight for you at this tournament?
The highlight for me was at the very end, I got to get a power ring.
Do you have that with you? Where do you have that in your house right now?
I actually have it. Um, it's in my living room, so I
Do
was
you
gonna go get that.
Oh, it's okay. Do you have a place where you kind of showcase? Is it in your living room, your trophies and medals that you've accumulated throughout competition?
Actually, I have won so much that I have 2 sheds full.
So you keep them all?
Yeah,
Wow, that's impressive. I think anyone who competes in multiple divisions knows the accumulation of trophies and medals. And so I applaud you for keeping every single one of them because when I was competing, I would keep all of them. And then it just got to a point where it was just too much. So either I wouldn't take every single one home, I would just take one or two trophies home, or we had to start paring down and just picking my favorite ones. So you have two full sheds in your house of just trophies?
yes.
If you had to guess, put a number on how many trophies you had. Total guesstimate. I have no way to fact check you, but if you had an idea, what would it be?
I think, let's see, 78, 80. That would
Okay.
be my guess.
Yeah, wow. And how long have you been competing?
So I have been competing for 3 years. I actually started karate 4 years.
So you started karate 4 years ago and you started competing a year later?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I feel like I'm forgetting that you're only 11 years old. So 4 years ago was when you were pretty young. How did you get into karate?
So I first got into karate whenever I wanted to like protect myself and like self-defense because my mom and my father were actually in karate and I really wanted to try it.
And then I guess you just got hooked. How did you start your first tournament?
So my first tournament was whenever I was private lessoned by my sifu and he really liked how I did my forms and everything. So he asked me if I wanted to compete.
Do you remember your first tournament?
Yes, actually, I forgot where it was, but I do remember what kata I did.
Okay. And how did you do at your very first tournament?
I actually got first place at my very first tournament.
Okay, awesome. So, what is your background? What's your style and what rank are you?
So whenever I first started, it was American Kempo, and I still do American Kempo. And I do Kung Fu, Chinese, Okinawan, Ruryu, Goju-Ryu, and Shotorin.
Okay, and what rank are you?
In American Kempo, I am a third degree brown belt, and in competing, I am a black belt.
Hi, all right. And that's common, you kind of outgrow the color belt division, the underbelt division, and you kind of step up and keep up with your skill set and compete against people who are going to push you. So,
Yeah.
speaking of people who are going to push you and people that'll make you better, who are some of your role models in sport karate?
So some of my role models is my number one, Mr. Ray Kellison. He's my Sifu, and he started me out on all of this. My second one is Miss Sandra Sanchez, and my third one is Jesus.
Awesome. And you're 3 years into competition. What's the biggest tournament that you've been to?
Ooh, the biggest tournament I've been to was the AAU and Junior Olympics.
Okay. And then now tell me more about, so you're 11, right? That means that you're in
Yep.
school, you're in the thick of school. Are you homeschooled, public school, private school?
Actually, I go to public school.
Okay. What does your day to day look like as Addie, 11-year-old martial artist and student?
So, 8 o'clock, I go to school, and then 3:40, I get out of school. So I go from 8 o'clock all the way to 3:40. Then I get out, and then we drive all the way to my karate studio, and
How
I
far
practice.
is
About 30 minutes.
that? Okay. You said all the way, so I just was wondering.
Yes. And so I practice my karate for 4 to 7:45 every day.
Wow. And is that in the form of taking classes as you would as a regular student, a combination of practicing to the side? What's your training for that long every day look like?
So 4 o'clock to 4:45, I do my kata training, which is like the Okinawan and my oar. And then from 45, I do like classes, more classes, because I actually help train some of the classes.
Okay, all right, great. So you're when you help train, does that mean that you're the primary instructor for some of them? Are you helping?
I help, and I also help do the warm-ups.
Okay. How long have you been teaching and taking on that kind of leadership role?
Um, 3 years.
Wow, and so just a year into your martial arts experience, you've been kind of stepping up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, oh no, she jumped out. Must be a technical difficulty. So we'll just wait for her to get in. Um, we can. I don't know what happened. I was gonna wrap up. Oh, I must have come dropped out too. Huh. Sorry, everyone. Bear with me as hopefully she comes back on in the next 30-ish, 40-ish seconds because I was going to wrap up. That's just sometimes things don't go your way, but I hope that she tries to get back on. Um, but yeah, so this was a Point Fighter Live approved event, and I'm having a great conversation with Addie. If you can think of any questions, I'll put them in the comment section for the few people that are watching, staying with me. Um, let's see, Addie. If not, I will just wrap it up. But I see people aren't hopping out, so I appreciate you sticking with me. I don't know what happened. You can always just put something in the comment section, and I will respond to you for the most part, as long as it's nice. Uh, comment. Oh, she just joined back. So I'm gonna put her in here to wrap it up. Thanks for coming on. We'll get her in just a few seconds. Okay, not sure what happened, but we'll just
Yeah.
pick up where we left off. So what's your next tournament?
My next tournament is the Heartland Open.
Okay, and where is that again?
Uh, I am pretty sure it is in
Meaning the state.
the
I
Heart.
know
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Don't know. I don't know either. So,
Boy.
but I'm new to the Midwest, but I'm trying to keep track of the Midwest tournaments.
Okay.
So we'll have to keep our eye out for that. Alrighty. So Addie, thanks so much for coming onto the Power Chat series. I got a little snippet of your background. You seem like a very well-rounded martial artist, and you're only just 3 years into your competition journey. Now, where do you hope this martial arts in the long run takes you?
I hope that this takes me into my own karate studio so I can teach a whole bunch of more students and also the Olympics.
Wow. And you know what? That just showed the fact that you started helping out, taking that leadership role, stepping up just 1 year into your martial arts career really shows a lot that you have so much potential to fulfill because you've set the bar so high at such a young age.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for watching the Power Chat series for everybody that tuned in. Stay tuned for the next post show with the next winner. Okay. Everyone, have a great night.